Yeah, big shout out, man. Dark, roasty beer for the naughty boys and girls. This is like coal in your glass if you've been a jackass all year. But then that sucks because like those guys shouldn't get the beer. You should get no beer.
No beer for you. No ABV for you.
You get a 1% piss beer. For the 11th of this year's 12 Beers of Christmas, something wicked this way comes. Krampusblüd Nordic Stout, a Kvike open fermented stout from Wake Brewing in Rock Island, Illinois. It was sent to me by my fellow craft beer video nerd Anthony Panicucci of Brewed TV and enjoyed on a crisp winter evening with my buddy Rob in St. Paul. I hope you enjoy our tasting notes. Brewed TV actually shot a full episode about this beer with head brewer Justin Paris, so I'm going to link that in the video description and you should definitely check that out. Quick reminder that this year's 12 Beers of Christmas have been brought to you with comfort and joy from Imperial Yeast and our helper elves at Patreon. Join them at patreon.com/shopandbrew. On the 11th day of Christmas, my brew love gave to me Krampusblüd. And 2021 also gave me a cool new neighbor. This is Rob, y'all.
Hey, cheers.
It's always cool to have like a beer lover move in next door.
Yeah.
And you're always so kind, bringing beer to me from travels near and far, or not so near and far. So I thought I would share with you this Krampusblüd from Wake Brewing in the Quad Cities. Do you know Krampus?
I know of Krampus, yes.
Okay, what do you know of? You actually said you just saw some Krampi.
Yeah, we were up in Excelsior, Minnesota, and there was like it was a Christmas festival, but it was all Krampus themed, so it was a pagan festival disguised as a Christmas festival.
Were there people wearing like woolly leg warmers, leggings,
full get-ups, everything,
like dragnet
masks and teeth and snarls.
Did you get beaten or eaten by chance?
Nope.
So if you don't know Krampus, apparently, and I'm no expert, so this is a Cliff Notes version. Krampus on December 6th in some Germanic kind of heritage places of the world. There's St. Nicholas, who brings the nice boys and girls gifts and whatnot. And then there's Krampus. He's like his left-handed anti-sidekick who, if you have been naughty, you might get put into a bag and beaten, or worst case scenario, I believe you get eaten.
Yeah.
So this beer is perfect for the night before Christmas. So some stats on this beer. They call it a Nordic Stout, and that's pretty unique. And the reason it's called that is because it is open fermented with Kvike. The brewer, Justin, tells me that he pitches at 80 degrees and lets it free rise as high as it wants to go, and then lets it free fall down to the 70s. It is the second running stout of their Russian Imperial Stout, which is called Ultra Omega. So just like we talked about during Halloween, Darkness by Surly, second runnings becomes Damien. Ultra Omega at Wake, the second runnings become Krampusblüd. So it's a stout Kvike open fermented, and then it's hit with some coffee, dark matter coffee, and vanilla beans.
Yeah.
Rob, what do you think of this beer? Also, cheers and Merry Christmas.
Cheers and Merry Christmas. Yes, it's easy. It's medium bodied for a stout. It's not like too heavy. I thought it would be more like syrupy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely getting those coffee and vanilla notes. A little metallic, maybe like minerally.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's kind of from the open. I don't know that I've had many open fermented stouts. Period. In America, there's not a lot of open fermentation at all. Mm-hmm. So to have a stout Kvike open fermented just means kind of like no holds barred a little bit. I get a slight bit of tartness. It's like sour cherry with absolutely no sugar to back it up, kind of tartness that I think might be from that open ferment, because it just does this like ester swap that you might not be used to based on the style.
Okay. Like
in a Hefeweizen, it like bumps the bubble gum like way up more than a closed fermentation would.
Sure.
So yeah, you said kind of minerally.
Yeah.
I agree that it's 8.5%, but it drinks more like a dry Irish stout, with some oomph. But like when I first read this and asked for Justin to send some, or for my friend Anthony from Brewed TV to send some, I was thinking it was gonna be like a pastry stout. These modern beers that we're used to just finishing like syrupy sweet, and I was still all about it. I was like, it's Christmas, let's do it.
Sure.
But when I drank the first of these 4 cans, I was like, this is way more pleasant.
Yeah, pleasant. That's a great word for it. Yeah.
I just think it's super roast is my main thing. Between the dark malts of the stout and the coffee, Elsa and I just got like huge roasty notes. I said not a pastry stout, slight tartness. Elsa said very creamy, almost like it's on nitro, but not. Very velvety body.
Yeah, I get that too.
She said roast coffee high, chocolate high, baking chocolate, kind of like bittersweet chocolates.
Yep.
She got a little bit of maple syrup sweetness, and I wonder if that's from the vanilla, because sometimes I don't get vanilla out of this, but sometimes vanilla is used as a kind of like a psych out for sweetness. Like kettle sour beers, a lot of times they'll put vanilla in it, not to make it taste like a vanilla milkshake, but really to take that edge off of the acid and the tartness.
Sure.
You mentioned you had just had like a peanut butter cup, chocolate peanut butter cup before coming over.
Yeah.
So you already had it kind of like the chocolate might be neutralized. One thing that was really interesting, someone else sent us some Rice Krispie treats last night, and we happened to just like eat a little bit of that and then this beer, and I was like, this makes this beer, it does like a pastry stout. It was like I was adding the pastry stout element through the dessert. Yeah, It was a really good pairing.
Yeah, I could see pairing this with dessert. It's a good stout, all in all. It's a good medium-bodied stout for me.
Yeah, Kveik is something we're all kind of interested in. It's rare that I think you see it in a stout, and it's definitely rare, in Norway. My friend Ivar, his whole system is pretty much, he ferments in a freaking wooden barrel with a really loose lid on it. So you could call that open fermentation for the most part. I don't think it has to be like completely open to be like considered open, but as I was explaining, like not forcing the fermentation through an airlock this big or a blow off this big.
Sure.
Yeah, big shout out, man. Dark, roasty beer for the naughty boys and girls. This is like coal in your glass if you've been a jackass all year. But then that sucks, because like those guys shouldn't get the beer. You should get no beer.
No beer for you. No ABV for you.
No ABV. You get a 1% piss beer.
Yeah.
Man, big shout out to Anthony from Brewed TV. I'm going to put a link below because they actually did a whole episode with Justin, the head brewer at Wake, to get a little bit more information. I tried to pass along as much as I could, but I also didn't want to make this a 15-minute video. Go watch their 15-minute video and check out a bunch of their backlog, man. They are doing what Brewing TV used to do, but they're kind of focused in the Quad Cities. And shout out to Justin, the whole Wake crew, all you metalheads. Rob?
They were true.
Stay tuned tomorrow. It is the 12th beer of Christmas. I'm going to sit down with Dono and Dawson and talk about, I don't know, beers of Christmas, past, present, and future. But we're going to wrap it up tomorrow. All right, my hands are getting cold.
Yeah. It's cold.
This beer got cold quick, too.
Cheers.
Under a Charlie Brown sky in St. Paul, Minnesota. Krampus? Are you worried?
Water?
Are you worried that Krampus is coming to get you? Have you been Impish or
What is it?
what is the other side? Impish or Admirable?
Admirable from the
Is it?
office.
Yeah, Dwight's shirt.
Yeah, he's the other.
It's so rad.
Is it
It's like-
Admirable?
I think it is. Impish.
Yeah. It's so
Oh, someone will tell
And
us in the
what's
comments
name
if
of
it's
his?
not.
It's similar to Krampus, but it's not.
Grushhagen or like.
yeah, it's an old.
Oh, we should look it up
German or
actually.
An old Pennsylvania Dutch.
Pennsylvania
yeah,
Dutch.
something, yeah. And he comes.
Bushstickel. Schnu.
Oh, you're right. It's something
It's
schnickel.
It's like